Hello, hello, hello. Yes, hello, guys. Can you guys hear me well? Yeah, yeah, that's good. Let me see if Cesc is here. Cesc. Let's see. Ceski, where are you? Ah, there you go. Hey.
Hey, Thierry, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
How are you, man?
Good, 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 good. How is everyone? Everyone safe?
Yeah, everyone is good, thank you. We are here at home. We can go out sometimes, but it's not, it's not the best. How is it up there?
Almost the same. We have it bad here because Montreal is the most affected city in Canada. Um, but you have if you go out, you have to keep your distances and stuff like that. So yeah, just
Are you
just
training? Are you training or not yet?
no, not yet, not yet,
Not
because
yet.
some teams in MLS are training, but the rules of this region of where we are doesn't
Hmm.
yet allow us to train individually.
Okay.
So we're not doing it. Guys are training at home, trying to occupy themselves the way they can. As you know, it's better to be on the field, but it's also better to be safe. So
Definitely.
what you doing yourself? Your family all good? Everyone good?
Yeah, everyone is good. Thank you. Everyone is good. It's hard for the kids because they have to be at home. They like to be out, and you know how they are. But
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
can imagine, but like I said, it's tough for
yeah,
everybody.
of course,
But
100%.
let's be safe. That's the most
Definitely,
important thing.
definitely.
How do you occupy yourself?
No, I made a little gym here in the balcony. I put a treadmill, a bike, some things to do, for my legs and stuff. But yeah, apart from that, as you said, if you don't have a football pitch, yeah, you could do many things. But the football is the football. So it's not easy. But I'm working on things that I never really had time. When you play every 3 days, some strength, some agility and stuff like this. So it's not bad.
What what about cooking?
Yeah, one night I had to cook because everyone was tired, and I cooked fried egg. So still the same here. Here we are still at the same place as where this started.
Come on, man. You're telling me you can't do more than fried eggs.
Maybe I could do some pasta if I don't know. No, maybe, yeah, maybe.
What do you mean you can't do some pasta? You just put them in the water.
Yeah. But
The
how do
most
you heat the
difficult.
how do you heat the water? That's the thing. That's where I don't want to make a mess.
Ah, you're crazy. How is everything? How was the season?
The season, it was a lot of up and downs. But yeah, where we played the good game before the game was the league was cancelled against Nice, against Patrick. I saw him. We spoke, and yeah, that was a good game to win. Though we lost, but we actually played well, and then everything ended. But as you know, we are out of Europe. for 1 goal. If we had drawn against Nice instead of losing in the last minute, now we would be in Europe actually. So yeah, it's a bit it's frustrating. But yeah, anyway.
That is actually annoying. Listen, I wanted to talk about something that I think people know about you, but I want to emphasize a bit more on it because I often get annoyed when people don't recognize how clever a player is and how your brain works. So it's very difficult sometimes to make people understand that because I'm not having a go at you, but you're not fast, you're not particularly strong. You know what I mean? I'm not saying people will get the ball off you.
I always say that
I'm
myself.
saying, but your brain is ahead of a lot of players that I played with. I can say that. I played with a lot of players, but your brain is up there with some of the best players that I played with. And so, I played at Barcelona, as you know, and you did. But what do you see in the field? Why it seems like you always have time on the ball?
I think, as you said, I had to work on it, specifically, and moving the ball quickly, playing 1-2s, because as you said, when you are not quick and strong, you always have to think quicker in a way, and I think that also made me react a bit quicker with my mind because, I was not someone even with a big agility either, so basically I had to rely myself, on playing quickly, trying to play smart, trying to play simple. And then on top of that, I grew up on, being decisive in terms of giving the last ball. Obviously I was very lucky to play with great players like you and players that made it always easy for me, to make for the killer pass. But I think I grew on that as well. And that helped me, to get more confidence on my game. And yeah, there was a peak at Arsenal where I was not slow. I could say, I could have some good runs. I was getting into the box. But yeah, in general, when I was younger, I had to really work on it because otherwise, probably I would have never made it as a professional footballer.
That's one of the first things. I remember the first time you trained with us. And I looked at you and sorry, me too, I had bad haircuts when I was young. I still have a bad one now. But that haircut was pretty bad, in fairness. Mine was too, let's all be honest. So I looked at you coming, and in those days, the shirts were too big for anyone, in all fairness. They were just too big. Yeah. But on you, it looked like you had a dress on.
Yeah, it was very skinny.
It was just big. And then I looked at the boss, I said, what the hell is this? And the boss was like, oh, it's the kid, that, I don't know if you watched the World Cup or whatever. I think, was it the World Cup or the Euro?
The under 17, yeah.
Yeah. And then I went, oh, that's him. Yeah, I heard he's like, you finished best player or top goal scorer or something like that, or whatever it was. I know you were up there with the best players of the top.
Both.
I said, yeah, I heard his name.
Because I was a year younger, so that's why maybe it was a bit more.
Yeah. So I remember people were talking about you, and so I saw you coming, and I was like, man, I saw the team, and I saw you were up Patrick and Gilberto. I went, oh my gosh, all the very best. And then you started to move the ball around. 1-2. People like Patrick and Gilberto couldn't get near you. And then that's when we knew, because we knew when he could play with us straight away. And then you went on to play, obviously, at the time, I think it was the Carling Cup, you scored. Mm-hmm. And then the rest is history. It was just, I saw it early. And sometimes people do not mention it. And people are rightly so talking about Kevin De Bruyne right now because the guy is an unbelievable,
great player.
It's so unbelievable. But for me, you are there with those guys because the way you play, I always been attracted with players that are clever on the ball, and you're just for me one of the most clever players that I played with. Clever, using the ball is just crazy. I remember that day. I don't know. Do you remember that day?
Which one?
The day that your first training session.
Yeah, well, of course. And I remember as well. In that day, I made a tackle on Canu as well. Did you? Yeah, on Canu as well, and he was so upset with me. But That's the problem sometimes. This is the good thing or the bad thing when you are young and you don't think where you are. Sometimes you just want to, you're excited and you just want to go there and prove yourself, and you don't even realize, oh no, but I'm playing against World Cup winners here or something. In that moment, you just want to try to do your best, and sometimes the passion or the adrenaline gets the best out of you. But it's great, and it's nice to hear this from you, because it's something that I always wondered, how you guys used to see me when I was just like this, and I never really spoke to anyone. I had some comments and stuff from someone, but it's nice to hear that.
Listen, Cesc, at the end of the day, people, as long as you can impress your teammates and you can look at them in their eyes when you go back into the dressing room, and for me, anyone that can help me to win something,
100%.
it is amazing. But if the guy can come on our level and be a leader and have a brain and play the way you played, I mean, it was a no-brainer, you know. And you played straight away. I mean, I wasn't the coach, but the way we were, the coach knew we accepted you straight away, because winners accept winners. That's basically it. We're not going to go around. Winners accept winners. If you're not a winner, you got to go. Arsenal, then you went to Chelsea. I didn't want to talk about it, but then you went to Chelsea. Now, listen,
Yeah.
there's something that I want to say. You know, I left, you left, but I don't want to put you on the spot, right? But I know you're an Arsenal man, and
I will always be. I will always be. I never deny that in my life, ever.
But I want people to know, because it's very important. Things happen, and I won't go into details of how you arrive at Chelsea. People in the game know how you arrive at Chelsea. But for me, I see you, when I think about you, I see you with a red shirt. I don't see you with a blue shirt. And I know some Chelsea fan might go, oh, come on, you won the league there and everything. I know, I get it. And well done. No, well done. You deserved it. But for me, you're an Arsenal man. And I know you feel like an Arsenal man. And I know it's very difficult for you, because you played for Chelsea and won the league at Chelsea, won at Chelsea, and became also a legend at Chelsea. So, but I know you're an Arsenal man. And
100%. Listen, I would never have thought that I would have mixed feelings between these two teams, ever. I would have never thought that. If you asked me that when I was 23, 24, even 6 months before I joined Chelsea, I would have always said impossible. But you know, you go there, you get to know the people, you get an understanding with the fans, and in the end, you win titles, you become important. You end up having so much fun and having, you know, so much passion and actually love for the club, and I will never deny that. But I completely agree with you. I mean, you never forget where you come from, and I know I come from my hometown and Barcelona academy and stuff, but who really made me, you know, be on the spotlight, on playing football at the top level where I always dreamt of, it's obviously Arsenal. And you know, this is something that I was so lucky to play, you know, not to play, but be with you guys with the Invincible season, learn from you guys. I always said that I was so lucky to come in at that moment, because I had only to see at you, Patrick, Saul, Ashley, Dennis, Robert, Freddie. This is unbelievable, you know. And then I was managed to captain the club, and they gave me so much leadership. They gave me basically everything that I needed to prove myself to be a top player. And definitely Arsene, of course, has so much to say. And I always said, and I think with you the same, that we have a little bit of the same story with him, because he took us, you know, in moments where, and he made us, you know, the players we are, in terms of, you know, he always let the players do what they feel, you know, in terms of playing football. And yeah. I think it's great for players like you and me that, you know, we always like to do our thing. We don't like when, I don't know, maybe I'm talking for you as well, but I think when I've seen you play for so many years, and I played with you, and I know that you like, you know, to be in your comfort zone, sometimes go a little bit on the left, sometimes, you know, be on the middle making runs. But you knew, and Arsene was really good at this, because he let the player have their instincts. You know, now sometimes you see a lot of teams well positioned, you
Yeah.
know, every player in their positions, and I think that helped me a lot. And in a way, as you said, I will never deny that I will always be an Arsenal man in my heart, because you know, as much as football have so many turnarounds and stuff, you know, where I started, I never forget. And the connection with the fans either, it was so special. I mean, I've
No,
never felt loved anywhere else as much as Arsenal, and as well at Chelsea.
no, it is. Like I said, it is a tough one for you to talk about because obviously you became a Chelsea man after, and it's a bit weird to talk about both teams like that. That you
Yeah,
you kind of
I
have
try to do
a
it
good team.
naturally, and I always try to be honest. And
Yeah.
you know, I always said I never, no one can ever hear me say anything bad about Arsenal. And when we played against Arsenal with Chelsea and we won there, and then you know, and we won the league, and sometimes you need, I celebrate the goals. You know it
Oh
as
yeah,
much. You know,
it is where it
so
is.
some
You're a
people
competitor.
kill me, and you know they want to, but you understand. People
Yeah,
understand
I
that
do.
in that moment, you know,
I
I
do.
would do anything for Chelsea to win, and that's what I
It's
did,
normal.
and proud of it.
You're a competitor. Listen, uh, because I don't think I asked you that ever, or I know that. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Growing up, I used to look up to Guardiola, Pep, and
Oh,
to Figo, Luis Figo.
Luis Figo. But why?
Yeah,
That's not your position.
I know, but he was unbelievable for Barcelona at the time. You know,
Oh
when I
yeah,
was
but then you
growing
was at
up,
Barca. Yeah, you were there.
yeah, yeah, that's why,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
why,
yeah. I forgot.
you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really, and you know, I really loved players like Romario as well when I was young, Laudrup. Uh,
Oh, for me, I thought you were going to say Laudrup because of how
yeah,
you
he
you
was one
played
of
and you
them.
saw him play.
Oh, amazing,
Because Michael
amazing.
Laudrup for me, and I
He
say it
was
all the
the
time,
10.
and I keep.
Guardiola was the 4. Guardiola
Yeah, yeah,
was the
yeah, yeah.
4. He was the 10. So yeah,
It was it was just it was the original. I keep on saying to everyone, the original fake nine,
yeah, exactly.
kind of
For true. He
playing
was
there
moving
and then
around there between the
Stoichkov and
lines.
Romario
Oh,
or
he was
Begiristain,
sensational. Yeah,
whatever. No,
and
it's
he
true.
had
That's what it
that
was.
last pass that he had was incredible.
No,
His last
Laudrup
pass,
was just.
his vision was something else.
So let me ask you a question. If tomorrow you have to do a 5v5, you're the coach. Who will be the
Okay.
team?
Ooh.
Guys that you played with.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I need a goalkeeper. No, as much as I'm an offensive coach, but I need a goalkeeper. No, what? Or can
Well,
I
if you
play
have
with
if you
a?
if you have the ball, you can play with
Yeah,
you can if you have the ball, you can play with the
that's
player.
why I don't want I don't want to be bad two goalkeepers. I'll pick a goalkeeper anyway. I think for what we experienced together and the big moments that we have with each other and what he made me and Spain win, I think I would have to go with Iker, because we have had so many amazing moments with Spain that he was just incredible in big moments. I know you scored a lot of against him and stuff,
No, no, no,
but
no,
no,
no.
no. But I don't know what you think, but I think Iker in important moments, in key moments of, you know, those
Yeah.
moments that everyone say, "Oh, this is history," or "This is, oh my God." Everyone remembers. He's got so many, and I think I have to go for him. By the way, you're up front, definitely. I don't even
Oh,
have to
thank
say
you.
that,
I don't.
because
I don't.
I will always put you on my all-time 11, 100%, and I always said it, and it's recorded
No,
on
it's because I used
old
to put
interviews.
your
Because
assist. I used to put. I used to make your pass an assist. That's why you're saying this.
of course, but this I'm very grateful for this. And
You know the best one you gave me
which one?
for me, the one against Liverpool at home because we made eye contact. You remember that one? I was
The one where
backward.
Carragher tried to, yeah,
That one.
he thought he
'Cause
had it. Yeah, yeah, that was amazing.
we made eye contact. I pretended to go on the wing, and then at one point I went, and then we caught eyes. I love that one. Carry on. Sorry, I cut you.
No, but this is true. I mean, this is the what we were saying about before, connecting, you know, with players and a little bit having the same understanding of football. Then I would have to have Lionel Messi there, 100%, because I think between you and him, we would score a few goals. Casillas is the player who will save them. And you know, I have to say, this is a player that I think in England everyone talks about him now, and he's gonna leave the Premier League very soon. But I play with him since I'm 16 years old in that World Cup under 17 actually, and it's David Silva. I always had this understanding with him. Don't ask me why. You know these players that sometimes they don't talk about. Oh, they are the best in the world, but I had a special feeling with him. And then we grew up and we played the World Cup under 20s as well. We played with the under 21. You know, we had a career, especially with Spain. You know, growing up and then winning everything together. And, you know, like Iniesta and Silva, these are the two players that I always felt, wow, I'm enjoying so much in midfield. You know, like you can pass the ball, you can move. They have the intelligence to know that when I go forward, they will come deep to get it. You know what we were talking about? You don't need to be in the same position. You know, you can change because other players are intelligent enough that they will fill the hole for you. And I just love that. I mean, Iniesta and David Silva, they have to be there for me. I know I'm not playing with any defender, but I don't really care, and I will just go with one goalkeeper that will save everything, two magicians in midfield, and two what can I
Listen,
say, two goats up front.
Cesc, you know, obviously I work on TV and I kept on saying it. What Man City did and are doing and Liverpool is doing is amazing. And whenever I had the chance to talk about David Silva,
Hmm.
for me, it was, listen, Vincent Company was very important. Kun is very important. Yaya Toure was very important to the change. The guy that arrived, the young arrived. You know, a lot of guys
Yeah,
arrived that people
yeah. When they
forgot
made
about.
the change, yeah,
But David Silva,
yeah. He's probably the most important out of them. I mean, it has to
he's
be
not playing this year.
between him and Kun for me, because Kun, he scored in
Yeah,
so many finals like he really is. But David Silva made. I mean, he holds the team sometimes. I feel, you know.
he reminds me of what, you know, people also don't talk too much about Xavi, but Xavi
Oh,
had that
another one.
impact
I mean,
also on team where he he does make everyone gel. And David Silva, that's why I think this year they're struggling a bit for me. Because David Silva, obviously, you're not going to be at your peak all your life,
of
physically
course,
and everything. But for
no,
me, this guy, eh, David Silva is just unbelievable. For me, personally.
no, 100%. I feel the same. That's why he's in my team.
Let me ask you something, because I I personally thought that was not disrespectful, but with what you did with Spain, right? We were also successful, sorry, with France, not as long as you guys, but none of you won the Golden Ball.
No,
As
that's true.
much as listen, we cannot say anything bad about Leo Messi
Hmm.
and Cristiano Ronaldo. Hey, there's nothing to say.
Hmm.
But one of those years, especially when all of you guys were playing at Barcelona or Real Madrid,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're kind of winning almost everything.
hmm.
I
Yeah.
just, I just, what did you guys think? Without having a go, I'm just saying, what did you
No,
guys
to be
think?
honest, we never really spoke about it seriously, and we had so many meetings. You know, meetings like friendly meetings before games, and we always talk. We used to every before every game we had this thing in Casillas' room where we
Room.
used to eat croissants and stuff like that. We used to meet 12, 13, 14 players, and every night before a game. This is for years, years, years. And we used to talk, and sometimes maybe you made a little comment, but really, you know how you know Xavi, Andres, they are not really
I
this type
know.
of players, so we don't really know. But me personally, if you ask me, you know, understanding the and you know what Leo means to us, to me,
Oh,
to everybody. I mean, you can never take anything away from him because
no.
he's just unbelievable. But maybe in 2008, no, because Barcelona was coming from 2 years, you know, where they didn't really win anything, and maybe okay, you can take that one even if we won the Euros. But yeah, between 2009 and 12, those 4 years, especially you know someone like Iniesta who made the difference for you guys at Stamford Bridge, and so many iconic moments, you know, and scoring the World Cup winner against Holland in 2010. If there was a chance, that was the chance for them
But that's a lot
to
of years. That's
win it.
4 years of a chance.
Yes, yeah, that's 4 years of a chance, and I think Leo won them all. No, then
Oh, I think it was anyway. It
yeah,
was between them two. This is not.
yeah, no, no, no.
This,
I'm just saying that it's curious that after all we
I
did together.
I just all the time, and again, those two guys are just outstanding. There's nothing you can say. I mean,
Mhm.
nobody can talk about them or even be at their level. But I just thought if I was Spanish, a Spanish player, I was like winning matters. And some of the balls I got some years, and still didn't get the. Anyway, I
Yeah,
was just
100%.
wondering what you guys were thinking.
Mhm.
You know,
No, to be honest, this is very personal because, as I said, we didn't really talk about it much. But it's a personal opinion that definitely, you know, I think they are already. If you spoke to them, they are so happy already that they got into the final. I mean, three of them. Were you there when this happened? When Leo won it, Iniesta second, and Xavi third?
no, no.
That's maybe the year you left, and it
Yeah,
happened the year after,
that's
maybe.
2010. I think that's 2010.
Yeah, and
That's
this
when you guys
happened.
won the World Cup.
Okay, so it happened after just
Yeah,
straight
yeah, yeah, yeah.
after the World
And
Cup.
I
Yeah.
was already gone. That was I left, and then
Yeah.
it's after. You know,
It was
it's
an
always in
iconic
December.
picture. I remember, you know, three guys from La Masia standing
No,
there with the
I mean,
Ballon d'Or, the second and the third. It was like
no, no,
an
no. But
incredible picture.
listen. I mean, if we start to talk about La Masia, then we're gonna need another 25 minutes. And so, because at the end of the day, people always talk about Barcelona and say, yeah, but it's easy. They have stars. No, when I went there, you had maybe 12 to 13 players from the academy
Mhm.
at a club like that, dominating football,
Dominating
world
football,
football.
correct. Dominating football.
And you have the three guys from La Masia in the Ballon d'Or trio.
It's
This is
incredible.
just, this is just, this is, that's why I say, and I go back and you will understand what I'm saying because we can't stay too long. I wish we had another 25 minutes, but the brain is the most important thing.
100%. And I don't know if
And
you feel like it, but sometimes I see football a lot now, and I see a lot of physicality. I see a lot. It's like the coaches, the first thing they think of it's, oh, this guy is strong. He can run for 90 minutes and stuff like that. And sometimes I look at it and I'm not sad or anything, but it's like, well, we're losing a bit of something that I experienced during all my career. I don't
yeah,
know. There is something that I think sometimes is
but
missing.
Cesc, it's normal because you've been educated like that.
Mm,
You've been brainwashed like that.
yeah, I agree.
And the way you were, you had to do it also. But I agree with you. And I'm actually sad when people like do not think about trying to develop the brain of a player instead of using his attributes right from the
Yeah,
start and then just when he cannot do it anymore, move him on.
correct.
You know, your I mean, if we start to talk about that, we're gonna have to start to talk about La Masia, the philosophy of Barcelona,
Mm,
and first and foremost, talking about the brain, the cognitive aspect of the game, learning how to control the ball properly with your left foot, your right foot, making sure you control the ball with the furthest leg away from the guy to play on the opposite side. But
but
then we
yeah, I
go,
know.
yeah, but
We would stay here for 1 hour, but it's so important as well. It's like
it is important, and for you, you know it. The
Mhm.
ball is coming on my left. I play with my left. You know, what's the point to form a triangle? You know, people always talk about a triangle. If you attack, the point will allow you to go forward.
Uh-huh.
And when you defend, the point allows you to cover the two that's going to go and put pressure.
Mhm.
But not a lot of people can explain why do we do triangles.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's so
They're
true.
like, oh, we have a triangle, let's play. No, but why? Because if you have a triangle, you play, the other guy here can join the point.
Correct. You
And
always find the
on the other
holes, the
side, the
empty
guy that,
holes. Yeah, the empty
but,
spaces. Yeah, for sure.
but you've been explained that since you're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's
Yeah.
why when you look at you or the guys at Valencia or the guys at Real Madrid or whatever, that's why when you play with Andres, you play with Xavi, and you play with David Silva, you connect because you're on the same page. You're reading the same book. Do you understand what I mean? It's like oh, a guy to anybody, but you're like, oh, a guy that
yeah, I agree that we were spoiled in a way in this case. Yeah.
Well, but sport, yes and no, says because you guys worked. Because at one point, Spain wasn't winning anything. Barcelona started to struggle. Real Madrid, I remember in early 90s, started to struggle also. You guys reinvented yourself. So well done.
Yeah. No, and then you know the great example that I always put, and it's one of those days that you always remember when we won the second European Championship on 2012. We played with 6 midfielders. And
no, but
I don't know if you remember. And that day, that day as well made me see that wow, intelligence is so important. Like, because we're playing without striker and we're winning 4-0 to Italy in the final of the Euros with 6 midfielders. That day I was like,
Cesc,
this is something else.
You were on another level. You could have played with 11 midfielders. If you keep the ball and you pass it well and you move it well, there's nothing you can do. You won 4-0 that final without a striker against Italy. It was just football at its best. I was watching the game. I'm like, you know what? I think I would have kicked someone because what do you want to do? It's like one goes high, one goes low, but the other one makes a run. David Silva makes a run, you drop. This guy off. And then Xavi and Andres keeps the ball, you move up. David Silva appears from behind. What do you want to do? And Jordi Alba comes with his motorbike. What do you want to do? You move there. What do you want to do? I always say, choose your poison. Choose your poison. Either way, it's going to come. And you guys were on top. That's why it's true. That's why I keep on saying. I think it's a shame that team didn't get an individual reward. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
At Arsenal, which one was the best goal? I've seen all your goals, obviously, in documentaries, and I experienced myself. But which one is the one that you would like choose for yourself, that you say, oh, either special or the best? I have one in mind, but I want to see.
Well, it depends. It depends, because I said the comeback goal. You know, when I came back to play for against Leeds for Arsenal.
Yeah, that had a big meaning, I guess.
It was weird because I scored the goal as a fan. You know, it's like I never had the chance. You played for Barcelona because you were a fan when you were young. You went back. It's different. You know, it's different. But and also the meaning. It was kind of weird because I came back with number 12. That's my number, actually. 14 is not my number. I took number 12 because number 14 at Arsenal because Christopher Ray had number 12. So I didn't want to take it off him. That's me. I didn't want to take it off him. So that's why when I came back, number 12, because of Marco van Basten at the Euro 88. But you have to understand, I scored 12 minutes to go on the clock. 12 minutes to go, 78 minutes. That was my 12th game against Leeds, my 12th goal. I'm wearing number 12, and we just passed. We were just turning into 2012.
No way! I never knew that.
So,
incredible.
So, yeah. So that I
was in Barcelona in my sofa that day watching the game because I never missed really any Arsenal game, and I was with my best friend. I remember, and I said, "Man, he's scoring! I swear." I remember that day. I said, "He's going to score. It's destiny. This is going to happen." And when it happened, I swear, I remember I was jumping. Oh, it was.
It is weird, and I think for the first time, you know, I used to be all moody or upset. You know me, a bit weird. But on that one, I think the whole stadium had the same explosion. It was kind of weird. If not the best goal for me is the goal against Liverpool at home to make it 3-2, because, like I said to you, for the first time I felt the stadium breathing. You know, like I could see that people couldn't breathe.
I was there. I was at Highbury.
And then, you know, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Well done, well done.
Big man, we're gonna have to go because I think that
it's a shame.
The big man is waiting for us. I could speak to you forever. I could speak to you forever. You know that.
He's another great player. He's another great player.
Yeah, he is the brain. Love it. That's what I like in the game. So, big man, be safe.
Thank you,
Say
Thierry.
hi
Thank
to
you
the
so
fam
much. I
for me.
had so much fun. Hi to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care. Stay
Thank you,
safe,
big man.
guys.
Bye bye. You
Ciao.
too. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Good luck, man.
Adeu. Adeu. Adeu.
Adeu. Adeu.
Hello. Ah. Hello. Good. Good. Hey,
Okay?
I
Can
can
you hear me
see
okay?
you're letting your beard grow like me.
I mean, I was just
Yeah. 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 It's
watching.
kind of yeah. Now better.
Okay. I was just watching you and Cesc, and I was thinking, how am I supposed to go on with this beard when I'm watching you two, man? For God's sake.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. I'm getting killed by everybody, but I don't really care.
Imagine what I'm getting if you're getting killed for that.
Wow. Look, it's not actually. I think it's not bad. But anyway, how are you, big man? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Obviously, strange times, foreign to me. I just
Yeah.
this is new to obviously everyone, but it's different. It's tough, but I mean, I'm trying to look at the positives. I've got to spend more time with my family. I've got some away time to reflect on the good season we've had so far. But yeah, like everyone, I'm missing football, just like probably you are, just like everyone in the world is.
Yeah.
How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, but like you just said, we first and foremost we need to be safe. I'm okay. I'm in Montreal right now. Some team in the MLS can train individually. We cannot because where we are is the worst town in Canada, so we're not allowed to go outside and even go to our training camp and be on the side and train individually. But like you said, and like I think everyone is saying, first and foremost, we need to be safe, occupy ourselves. How do you occupy yourself?
To be fair, I've been training individually,
Okay.
doing my stuff, trying to stay in some sort of routine, to keep the fitness up, and obviously, and we're getting regular updates, but it's kind of all a bit up in the air at the moment. We don't really know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep, obviously, like everyone else, a level of fitness. So if we do go back in, as and when we're told, then I'm going to be ready. But how do I occupy myself? I watch your interviews with the lads. Really enjoyed listening to you and Cesc there. Like, really interesting. I think almost forgot that I was going to be coming on after, because I was loving hearing you two talk about football and old times and stuff, because you two are players. Obviously, as I was growing up a bit younger, were Premier League greats at the time, and that was the era where I was really started to find my love for football. So that was really interesting. Apart from that, not a whole lot, to be honest. A little bit of PlayStation, but not a lot to
Not
shout about, to be
cooking? You're
honest.
not cooking?
I'm back with my family, so my mum, who
Ah,
will
so
probably be
no, so you have an
watching,
easy one.
yeah, she's putting the food on the table every night, so I've kind of got my feet up. I'm waiting.
I wanted to ask you something because I'm not going to put you on the spot or putting pressure on you because you look like a guy that can handle pressure, and I'm sure that you're a level-headed guy. I spoke to Colo, as you know, I played with Colo, so I spoke to Colo, so he told me about you that you are a good player, very committed. But I just like the way you play because I think that you're very clever on the ball. You have an idea of what you want to do before you receive the ball, and then you have the quality also to execute stuff uh, by yourself. You can pass and you can go. So I wanted to know who inspired you as a player, who you looked at and then you went, oh, I want to do a bit of that.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, because it kind of leads off what you and Cesc were saying, because David Silva, and I don't want to go back into that too much, but obviously, how long has he been at Man City now? Maybe 10 years? It's coming up to 10 years, right?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
not fun.
So obviously 10 years ago, I would have been 13, coming through my schoolboy ages of watching Premier League. And really, when I started to really understand the game properly, in my opinion, and he had obviously just come to Man City, and I watched the Premier League every week. I never missed a game because I love the game. And he is a player who, like myself a little bit, I think, has always been a bit smaller. When I was a bit younger, I was smaller. I was a bit weaker. I was a little bit late in my development. And I used to watch David Silva and the way he caresses the ball, the way he receives the ball, and just a beautiful player to watch. And I know you and Cesc talked about it, so I don't want to bore the fans by going back.
No, go back.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of David Silva.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan as well, and that's why after the first game we played Man City, after the game we cooled down a bit, I said to the kit man, "Can you please go and ask for David Silva's shirt?" Because that's obviously when in my first season in the Premier League, playing against him, a guy who I've watched and tried to almost literally study in his peak years at Man City, and then I was sharing the field with him was a brilliant feeling. But yeah, like I said, the way he receives the ball, the way he turns, the way it's like he's got wing mirrors, you know. You can just see behind him and the space, and it's a joy to watch.
You get that with Spanish players. That's what we were talking with Cesc.
Yeah, I agree.
About, because at a young age, they prioritize this instead of how big you are, how fast you are. So you can see those guys think way before. But there is something else that I like about David Silva. If you watch and you did, as you said, how it gets in, he gets involved, he puts his foot in, he defends, he tackles, he battles. You know, I think that's for me also very important. But yeah, you can see that he's looking to do something when he has the ball. He just doesn't pass the ball for no reason. Most of the time, you know, if you ask a guy, why did you make that pass? Some of the guys cannot answer to you. They will not tell you a good explanation of why they're making the pass. Spanish players, you can see that they are cooking something. You know, they're preparing something.
His weight of pass as well, you know, it's not just seeing the pass. Obviously, the execution has to be perfect, and that's why he's been at the top level for so many years, because the execution of his passing is just second to none, and I can't think of anyone better in the Premier League that's better than him at that, to be honest.
No, I don't know if you saw some of my interviews, I always talk about Michael Laudrup.
Yeah.
And if you want to see passes, you have to look at Michael Laudrup. Even De La Peña also was outstanding on passes. Ronaldinho and a lot, by the way. But Michael Laudrup was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Seriously, I always say, go on YouTube if you have time. The ultimate passing compilation, I think it is, Michael Laudrup. It's an hour. And then he just looks like fake, some of his passes.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Laudrup.
Have a look, you would see. Have a look. It's just ridiculous. How are you liking it in Leicester?
Just quickly going back, by the way, I remember last year, just last point on David Silva. I remember we were playing at the Etihad, the big game where Company scored the winner, when we had a chance to almost win it for Liverpool if we took some points from that game. I remember it was in the first half, and I just wanted to touch on it because you said David Silva, he gets stuck in as well. You know, he puts his foot in. I remember I must have received the ball on the halfway line, and on my blind side, someone came in and smashed me, and I'm on the floor, and I'm thinking I'm going to look up and see like Fernandinho or Company, and I got up and it was David Silva, and he was like a bit smaller than me, and I was thinking that can't be right. But like you said, that he does. That's why I wanted to say that, because he does put his foot in, and even though he is a beautiful player and maybe he doesn't get enough credit for, but he wouldn't play for Pep. Obviously, you know Pep very well. He wouldn't play for Pep if he didn't do that as well, you know. So, but yeah, that's why he's the best. But what did you say? What did you say? Sorry.
No. How do you like it in Leicester? You know, obviously, I love how Brendan Rodgers set his team to play, and obviously, how is it also with my old teammate Kolo? Kolo is funny.
Kolo, he's one of a kind. I remember, obviously, you know how players, when they first obviously join a club, you have to do like a song for initiation and stand up in front of the whole thing. And Kolo did his, and he was happy to do so. And he did. He got up. He moved a couple of chairs out of the way because a few of the lads had been. A few of the new players had obviously gone and sung. He moved the chairs out of the way, and I was thinking, what's he doing here? He started doing his the Kolo, the dance, gosh. And he's dancing around the tables, and he's only been in a job like 2 days, and after that, everyone warmed to him. You know what he's like. He's got a great personality, and he's a great coach as well now. And I think he's learning under Brendan Rodgers, like you said. But really enjoying it at Leicester, to be honest. Obviously, coming to the end of my second season now. really enjoying it. We've had a good season. We're in the Champions League places, which is very promising. Which is why, fingers crossed, we can finish the season and really secure the good work that we've done in that. But I love playing for the manager. Like you said, he sets his teams out in a way which I love, and he's got me working harder. He's got me pressing harder, which is maybe, if you ask someone 18 months ago, what are the question marks about James Maddison? What is he not so good at? I think maybe people would have said he's not very good defensively, or he wants to be a typical number 10 that doesn't really do much. But he's kind of changed me into like a number 8 who can do the defensive stuff as well. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
But there's one thing that I think very important also, Pep got me into that, is learn how to defend going forward.
Yeah.
So putting pressure, and what it does is you stay there. So you only have to run 5 to 6 to 7 meters if everyone is close to each other, instead of doing 60. And then you stay there, because what you want is to have the ball and attack again and attack again and attack again, because you never get tired from that. You get tired when you have to go the other way for some reason. Don't ask me why, but you get tired when you have to go that way.
It's a hard one to explain that, isn't it? It's a hard one to explain.
It is. It is. But this is something that's going to come, for you. You're going to play games, understand your game better, understand the Premier League better, understand who you're playing against better, understand momentum better. Because sometime at a young age, I remember I wanted to do everything in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then now, or, after, now I'm not playing, but after that, I started to pick moments.
Yeah.
It has to be now.
Some of the stuff you're saying is very, very similar, and it's kind of messages that Brendan Rodgers said. Going back to what you said about the counter pressing and not having to run back, these words have literally come out of his mouth. I remember him saying, if you lose the ball and you go and press for 4 seconds, it stops you having to do 15 seconds back that way.
Yeah.
And you're not always going to win the ball in that press.
No, but it's an attitude that you need to have. It's an attitude that you need to have, and that's why you are where you are right now. And you got a call to play for your country. By the way, how was that?
Ah, that was fantastic.
How was that?
Yeah, I'd been in, I think, maybe 4 squads, and I hadn't actually got game time yet. A couple of times there was a few players that were injured, so I was in and stuff. But that one, I remember thinking, I've got a real chance at going to get game time. I was scoring goals at the time. I mean, I think the game before the international break, sorry to bring it up, we beat Arsenal at home 2-0. I scored a lovely goal, and
it's all right.
Couldn't wait to get that in. But yeah, I felt like I was in good form, and I thought this one could be my chance. And I was on the bench to start with, and obviously Gareth Southgate called me on, and I played maybe 30, 35 minutes or whatever it was. And I just remember thinking, as I was coming on for Oxlade-Chamberlain, I remember thinking, like, this is a moment I've worked so hard towards, and I want to go and show everyone what I can do. And maybe a little bit, I was a bit too keen, and maybe like,
yeah, it's normal
sprinting around. But like you said, obviously things like that you will learn with experience and stuff. But great moment for me. I'm going to get my debut shirt, which is signed by everyone framed. That'll be something that I'll treasure forever, and I know my family are so proud of it. So you probably remember your debut for France as well. But great.
Yeah, I was rubbish.
I wasn't much better, to be honest.
I was bad because I wanted to do everything. I ended up not doing anything. And then the worst thing is I wasn't me. So I was like, make sure you don't lose the ball.
Yeah.
But then if you make sure you don't lose the ball, stay at home, because you're going to lose the ball. So I wasn't in the mindset that made me go to the national team. I used to be a guy that used to take people on, and I arrived in the national team, ball was coming, and I gave it back. I was giving it back. I'm like, oh, I didn't lose the ball. But then I was like, yeah, but you didn't do anything also. So, when people get those stats like, he doesn't lose the ball, I'm like, yeah, if you give the ball back to the goalkeeper, the center back, and the wing back, and the full back, I also can play even now. If you play forward, you turn under pressure, it's a different ball game. And so I was a bit upset with myself, but that will come. That will come. When you... Okay, I'm going to share something with you. Like, I'm sure when you arrive in the Premier League, you're like, oh, that's fast. You're controlling the ball, people are already around you. Now, I'm sure when you turn, you see everything in slow motion. Yeah. Everything you can see.
You have to adapt, don't you? You have to adapt. And I remember my debut was at Old Trafford away on a Friday night, the opening game of the Premier League, Friday night football. I remember I turned up and all the cameras are down the side, and I could see Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. I'm thinking, yeah, I've arrived now, you know. And I remember the first 5 minutes, it was so quick. I actually had a good first touch, you know. It's important. I made my touch was sharp, and I played a nice 1-2 or something. I remember thinking, if I took half a second longer there, I was getting tackled, you know. So I thought, I've got to be on it here. And then obviously the more games I've played and stuff, the more experienced I've become, like you said. And now I feel like I'm at a level where I'll go into a game hoping, I think I'm going to affect the game today. And that's why you say stats can be misleading sometimes, because sometimes I'll play a game and then someone will text me after and say, oh, well done today, you had 95% pass completion. And I think I'm going home annoyed because I didn't create any chances or I didn't have enough shots, you know. So I couldn't agree more with you on the stats thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I always say that, you know. I remember one because I used to speak my mind and people used to be a bit shocked when I used to say what I said. And because I'm very, you know, I say, you can ask Colo played with me, he'll tell you, I'll just tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, then you have to move on. And that's how it is. And so at the end of the game, I think I scored a hat-trick against Norwich once. I did not move. I was embarrassing. I was actually embarrassed because I was like, I was really bad. But I scored 3 goals. And so everyone came at the end, you know, the journalist said, Thierry, you had a great game. I said, no, I didn't. I scored, but I didn't have a great game. That's a different ball game. I scored, but I didn't have a great game. And so I think it's unfair. It was always unfair. And I will always say it, strikers get judged on goals. And they get away with murder sometimes. Because, you know, sometimes you have to carry us. You have to carry a striker sometimes, hoping that he can help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Get that one chance.
So that's why, while I was playing, I started to think that assist is very important. You know, to give, because sometimes, as you know, your team is defending for 90 minutes. You're looking at them defending most of the times, and you didn't really help. So when I could in games, I used to love to also give assists. You know, assists for me is as important as goals. Or even more important, and I think that people sometimes do not emphasize on that. If you watch an advert, right? If you watch an advert, it's always the goalkeeper gets the ball, plays it, and finishes on the goal scorer. That scores and celebration. I know it's the hardest thing in the game, and that's what you want. You want goals. But people don't talk about the assist. People don't talk about the tackle on the line. People don't talk about the goalkeeper saving it. You can't value really how many points a goalkeeper gives you in a season, which I think it's unfair because without a great goalkeeper, you can't go nowhere. Good defenders are your first attackers. If they don't pass the ball well through midfield, you're in trouble. And so it's a team game, and I think for me that's the most important thing. That's why I like the way you play, because it looks like for you it is as important to give than to score. And I like that.
Definitely. But I think it's more interesting to hear that from you because you're a striker. And to hear that, you would normally hear that from a midfield player, but let's not forget. And I think that attitude and that mentality is probably why you are regarded as, in my opinion, the best Premier League striker ever. And I'm not just saying that because we're on live and I'm not trying to, like, you know, big you up because we're on Puma and stuff, but like, that's why, in my opinion, you are, because to have that mindset as a striker is very, very rare, I would think. Strikers are all about scoring goals. Every striker I've played with is always about scoring goals, you know. And you have the record number of assists, right? And I know, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is breathing down your neck on that one. But
I know.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, that's why I think that's so important. That mindset that you have is so rare
you know what
to have as a striker.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Is that it's difficult for strikers because you get brainwashed when you're young. You have to score. You have to score. That's the most important thing. You need to score. You have to score. You need to score. So you start to believe that, and the joy of scoring is like a drug. The more you score, the more you want to score, right?
Yeah.
But I always said that the most important thing is we have to score. If it's me 30 times, so be it. But if we are 0-0, and it's important to pass the ball, because we need to be 1-0 up, I'll pass the ball because we need to win and we need to score. Now, because I was playing as a striker, I was always going to be at the end of the movement of great players that I played with. So sometimes give something back to them. I used to give also away a lot of penalties. I used to give them away. You know, sometimes guys that didn't play for a long time, or guys out that were leaving the club, or stuff like that. And it was a game. I tell you, it was a game. I played the under-21. We played Ukraine in France, and I gave 4 assists in the game. But the game after, they needed someone in the first team to play against Andorra, because one of the first team, I'm talking about the national team, one of the strikers in the national team got injured. And they called David Trezeguet, and rightly so, because David Trezeguet scored the 4 goals.
Okay.
No, but rightly so. I'm not having a go. Understand me well. He deserves to go. But then I was like, hang on a minute. So assist doesn't matter. I wasn't judging what they did with him. He deserved to go. But then I went, wait. Assists do not count in the game. I was like, okay, now I know what I need to do. I need to do both. So if you like assists, I'm here. If you like goals, I'm here. That's why it's very difficult for me. I'll explain something to you. It's very important. That's why when people compare me to proper number 9, I don't like it, because I wasn't the proper number 9. I was never in the box. I wasn't the proper number 9. I wasn't always at the end of move. I used to start moves. I used to come in midfield and play.
You used to start and finish moves.
No, that's a different story. Leave that one. But you know what I mean? For me, the most important thing is I used to get upset when I didn't help the team. Whether I didn't score, or I didn't have an assist, or I didn't play well. And if I didn't do the 3, ask Colo. You know, I was a bit of a pain in the neck, to stay polite. But that was me, because at the end of the day, you need to do whatever it takes for the team, and that's very important. And I'm not a natural born scorer. I'm a guy that developed himself to a player that could assist, score, and then I started to work on my free kicks. And I know you love to take free kicks also.
Yes.
You know, that's very important also. You know, the more tools you have, and more is going to be difficult for the boss to take you out of the team, because the boss will go like, wait, hang on a minute, he can take set pieces. Wait, he can assist. He puts pressure and he scores. You're the first name on that on that piece of paper. You will be. Period.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you said like you like to work on free kicks. When I think of you, and I think of you and free kicks, there's one that comes to mind. Do you know which one I'm thinking of? Or?
I'm gonna make the free kick. Roma away? No.
The one where if I remember rightly, correct me if I'm wrong, you had to retake it. I think it might have been Wigan or something.
You want to know the story?
Yeah, I want to know the story, please.
I'll tell you the story.
All I remember is the look at the referee.
I'll tell you the story because
please tell me the story.
I got labeled as cocky or whatever it was. It was a bit cocky, I'll be honest with you, but that was a great. Colo will tell you, if you poke me, I'm gonna talk. If you let me be, then let me be. And sometimes if I was sleeping, let me sleep, because it happened to me, and just let me sleep. But I don't know if you remember, I scored a goal at Villa. I scored against Chelsea. I took a quick free kick. Villa, quick free kick. And so people were like, oh, well, it's not fair. What do you mean it's not fair? If I don't want a wall, I don't want a wall. Yeah. Right? That's the rule. So the goalkeeper of Wigan was on his post, right? So I put the ball down. And I was about to do it. I said, ref, I don't want the wall. The ref put himself in front of the ball. He said, no, Thierry. So I went, what? He went, no. There was too many arguments about you taking free kicks or whatever. So you have to wait. I was raging. I went, what do you mean? That's a rule. What do you mean? So that's why when I scored, I went, is that enough? Did I wait enough? That's what I said. Is that enough? Is that enough?
I remember.
That's why I turned and looked at him, because he was there. I went, is that enough? Okay, same result.
I remember, because the camera angle was perfectly on your face and you almost turned to the camera angle and you said, is that enough?
Yeah, because the ref was there. So I said to the ref,
that side,
And that's the story. And then people were like, oh my God, look at what he said. Yeah, but there was it's just, you know, when you're on the field, sometimes it just comes out, and that's just the way it is. But
Do you know
yeah,
what?
like I said, man.
I've actually tried a couple of. When I was younger, I used to love quick free kicks as well. I scored when I was like, we're talking when I was in the youth team. Now I've scored a couple.
Yeah.
I've got like just like in under 18 games at the training ground and stuff. And in the last 2 years of being in the Premier League, I've tried to take a couple of free kick ones, and I'll be like, ref, can I take this quickly? Keeper's on his post, no, and I think, and the ref every time now is no, wait for the whistle. So now I know why, because I'm looking at the reason why. So you've stopped me from scoring a few goals.
But I don't understand, because if you don't want to wall, you don't want to wall. You're allowed to. You're allowed to play quick.
I couldn't agree more. I know.
Anyway,
I think the refs are just trying to keep their own back, you know.
That was a funny one. But for me, like, keep on doing what you're doing, because I love the way you're playing. I'm nobody, by the way, but I'm just telling you, I love the way that you're playing. I like to watch players like you that think. Thinking is important in the game.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, and there is one thing that we don't use often is our brain. The best camera, I always say, that we have is our brain. You take pictures every day. You know, when you blink, you're taking a picture. And so whether you remember what you took or not as a picture, your brain will have it in the back of his head. That's why sometimes when you arrive in some situation, because you worked at it so many times, you've seen it so many times, you come out of it. Because also you have the quality to do it, by the way. But carry on doing what you're doing. Love the way you're playing. Think about the team. It's the most important thing. But remember that if you don't have a big ego channeled well towards the team, towards your goal, and what you need to do to help the team, you will never succeed. People always say, oh, he has a big ego, this guy. Yeah, and he should. But towards what the team needs.
Yeah.
Put your individual work into the good of the team. No, I'm going to say to Brendan Rodgers, hey, I'm not trying to say anything to your player, but I'm just telling you, it's the most important thing. Don't be scared of having a big ego. Don't be scared of
to be fair, Brendan Rodgers is good like that, because he always says it's important that you play with personality. You know, you have to show that you're a big player, because big players show that they're big players. You know, and I would never want to come across as arrogant. I know there's a fine line and whatever, and I always believe in myself. And in interviews sometimes maybe come across a little bit, but that's not me. I'm a humble, nice guy, if you know me. But on the pitch, I always believe, as you've mentioned, you have to have that attitude. You have to want to be a big player. You have to know you're a big player, you know. And I'm still learning. I'm still getting there. So I'll take your advice on board.
No, listen, you have to be, I call it, confident. The only time that people think that you're going to be arrogant is that because they are not confident themselves. So when they see your confidence, they see it as arrogance because they cannot be confident themselves. Do you understand what I mean? I'm going to ask you a last question because you have to go. I know you're tight on schedule. What is your biggest goal?
My biggest goal?
Yeah, what do you want to achieve? I
would say, personally, and I think only in the last year, 2 years, I would say this is, like, in my house, I have a trophy cabinet, and there's not many trophies in there, to be honest, Thierry. Like, there's individual awards. I have no trophies. And you're someone who, if you showed me your trophy cabinet, we probably haven't got enough time to go through it. But I want trophies, you know. We got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, this season, right? And we lost to Aston Villa away over the 2 legs. And I remember the feeling I felt after that game was a feeling that I'd never felt before, because I've never got that close to a final at Wembley and a trophy. And that's when I realised I want to win trophies. And we're in, obviously, let's fingers crossed the season can resume. We're in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. We have Chelsea. And it's almost that heartbreak this season of losing out the last stages of a tournament makes me want to win trophies. So I think my goal would be to try and win as many trophies. Like you said, goes back to you talking about wanting to do what's best for the team, and I'd love to win trophies. So I'd have to say that.
It is. Sometimes I get, it's music to my ear, because sometimes you come to the game to win as a team, first and foremost. Yeah. Although you have like stuff that are going to come in your ear and always pinpoint individuals before the team. I don't like it. You come to win as a team. Individually, we all have to do our work to make the team better.
To win as a team, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I get it. Do your job individually and what you're supposed to do for the team to make the team better. Bring your 5%, your 10%, your 20%, or whatever it is. I get annoyed when I hear people say, "What's your biggest goal?" and they go like, "Oh, to win individual trophies." What?
Yeah, I know.
That will come if you win first with your team. Normally, or you're outstanding player, and then it doesn't matter anymore. But first and foremost, surely you're playing a collective sport. Your aim should be to win as a team. Whatever's going to come after will come after. That can never be your first goal, because that will tell me a lot about you and what you want to do. So you want the team to help you to win, or you helping the team to win, then you can get individual awards.
Yeah, because if you have 11 players with that attitude of wanting to win individual awards, you'll never win collective awards, you know. And that's what I mean. You know, obviously at Leicester as well, with the recent Premier League success in 2015-16, and obviously you know how it feels to win the Premier League. Makes me so happy walking around the training ground, seeing the pictures and seeing the lads talk about that time. And it's almost like wet. My mouth gets wet and I get the appetite and I think, I want that feeling, you know, that feeling of winning trophies, how happy it made them, how happy it would have made you. And so, yeah, that's the goal.
It is for me outstanding. And I spoke to Kolo about the team, because obviously I'm close to Kolo, and he told me only good stuff about you, and talking to you reassures me now that what I think and what I thought. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm nobody, but it's just me with me and what I was thinking. So no, it's true. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is your time, this is your league, this is your era. I'm long gone, so it is what it is. But I love the way you play. I told you, and I'm not saying that because you're there. I will tell you, maybe I wouldn't have told you I don't like the way you play, but I wouldn't have told you, surely, I like the way you play. But no, joking apart, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you stay safe and carry on working on every aspect of the game. That's very important. Make it difficult for your boss.
I will do. Pleasure was mine. Thank you, Thierry.
Say hi to the family for me, yeah?
Will do. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Safe.